ECOmedia team meeting number 32. All right. Um just to speak for the executive committee, there's 22 bunches of tasks that have made 22 job positions at this corporation. Um, they are clear because of having unique job titles. I am director of design, and design is one of the other committees. But the executive committee has a few things to mention for timing for sustainability. Ongoing, like we wrapped up last season, we don't talk about more than next week because it takes everything to add 4 days to the calendar covering the weekend. So on my calendar here of this work season, there really isn't stuff dated out to next week. And something sweet is basically looking to our time frame for this job as tomorrow or sooner. I guess there's some great stuff to notice. And honestly, that's kind of what other media companies are for, noticing what's good. Basically, the news is something that we don't have to provide ourselves. We kind of provide for communication, just like climate change provides for living. So basically, those people, they know what vegans do with the news because of the primitive news. But news shall make us smarter. So the plan paradise that is set up of news stations where vegan people hijack the news, it's pretty much so great that the happy news will also make us smarter. So to get to design, basically, really hoping that simply having backslashes after the web domain will allow a generation process that fills in live data for the cloak. The whole zone can be changing without a domain bar that changes in a browser every time. But basically, that's building from having it.eco /1/2/3, where we have the site, the book, and the stream, the stream being that sound, and then the /3 basically being the file that is revealed. The sound at this initial state is those academic lectures of political economy. And what we're hoping then will actually legitimately look as the homepage is it.eco ///. And then we have all the interaction capacities and building, therefore, based on those complex backslashes having a process contained that involves time and interactivity and allows interactivity. So with the official, or rather with the final launch of the page, I think that this launching site of /1/2/3, while made to allow those file extensions, really will resolve into it.eco /1, and that is the program document that we've been working on since the start of this season. I'll get more to what that document is in a minute. Basically, launching the monetary system, then that document, that file at /3, will no longer, well, it'll still be the proposal, but the monetary system will have built something upon the proposal. So that all that eCoin proposition, it will consolidate down to just the /1. Of course, my lectures will be available. I was sharing them, not just short term. But also I love teaching, so maybe people would want to hear my non-recorded lecture. But it.eco /1/2/3 consolidates to /1 for a program document, which basically tells how our software fits together. The program document shows the ability of links and whatnot that are made for people to communicate, and it's like a 2-part document. The first part shows basically just that, how the site fits together, and then the second part shows eCoin governance. And yeah, it seems just like a growing algorithm or a plan for perpetual growth of money. That consolidation of the monetary system proposal, that will help us determine what actually goes in that second part of the program document. And I need to speak with finance, or the director of finance, or some other committee members from finance to determine what goes into this eCoin governance section of the program document. I'm going to go ahead and read the program document. ECOmedia is all the balance of eco. Here, money is the start, and the past is a natural resource. Space expands, life populates, material requires a map. ECOmedia can hold network singular. A citizen's medical record belongs with the National Health Program. We use area codes to locate each other. The amount of people sets the size, but because we are in motion, we receive ample coding. Projects find congruency with the Cron O. Some charge money, some share music, and they all empower. The links to tools title the zone. This is how projects are inlaid. Personal privacy enables all projects. Some sharing with the cloak of ECOmedia shows the integrated function of Dream. The title bar holds our forum, events, maps, profiles, and market. Tools result from occupying the system for progress. From people's locations arises foundations for market transactions. All space assembled into the map shows consistency. The places of corporations are shared with people. Market folds common resources to nature. On that doubles the software. The stock market lets banks offer shares. The corporate organizations receive money to enhance. And there's like a couple more sentences, and that starts to get into the second section of the program document. Honestly, I'm pretty stoked on this idea because I was really hoping that 1@it.eco could be my email address, and now I see how it's possible with such a intelligent document to help filter or receive properly the incoming emails, while everybody also notices that they don't want to send too big of emails to me that would deter me from getting the job done, but they'd also have the desire to not make me too busy because they know I'm a teacher too. So this program document and this web filing software, this web or this online domain system is really functional for all of us. To start talking about finance, well, just to wrap up with design, Um, I've drawn this out a few times. I know what it kind of looks like. And so it almost seems like right where my nose is, it might say it.eco ////. Or now where my smile is, it.eco. But right here is the calendar. And it's the 8-day-a-week calendar. Very, very functional, as all musicians can agree. More about design. Let me just check notes from last week. There's a cool intersection for design and executive to work on what privacy means. I mentioned personal privacy in the document, but I haven't gone very much in detail as to what that is. But the three biggest components to privacy are the medical record, the project, and user filing. And that stuff's all... It goes way deeper. Like, drug intake is a part of what allows privacy. It's kind of cool. And much more, like which projects are selected. But doing all of this while keeping 7 personal tools is a feat to admire. A little bit more from design is that we're starting to work on touchscreen stuff, and it's really, really a good time for that, because the plasma screens are getting to be legit technology. So with the interface of the laptop already designed as our cloak, the touchscreen stuff will become very effective for phones. I guess one more thing about the document is that program document, when people click support or about us in the ground bar and get to some of our static info, the document, depending on what questions they're asking, it might capitalize letters that draw attention to specific parts for the user's explanation, whatever question they needed answered. Basically, having a space before words allows for special capitalization. So that's another good feature of how making this just a text document is so awesome. Awesome. One thing really going to be working on is the poll settings. Working on that this week. But gosh, there's some just cool images been drawn of what the zone kind of can look like. Anyway, with time for finance, let's first philosophize or get to the philosophy of this money development or monetary development. So, an important two-sentence phrase I came up with is that the organized relationship between a product and name is the corporation. All, as in each of the things connected by incorporating, setting price. So with such facts like people are good at exchanging at price, we know why people are so involved with the capital development that is corporate. We appreciate the opportunities to get new stuff, and so it's kind of an organized relationship that makes a corporation exist. And it's more than that because people interact. But while people want to save the world, while corporations want to save the world, people, because of the nature of growth, we might not extend our salvation so much to stopping chaos as some corporations might help with. I guess really the biggest thing with our financial system coming into being, and I don't just mean the finance committee at ECOmedia, I mean global finance, global development with money. With this coming into being, we can look at the climate change as not anything detrimental or as not a problem. We can notice that the changing environment as we proceed is a great opportunity. Perhaps more than an opportunity, without being a problem. And the excess CO2 in the atmosphere, while it may have decreased the potency of oxygen at surface levels, the carbon dioxide may help in the short term with global warming, making more drinking water for people with a proper alignment we can perhaps make this falling water that we can drink somehow over land capture CO2 and specifically over land where there's not a salty base, or I don't mean base like acid base, but a salty ocean that it's coming down on, so we can receive both water filtered from this acidic water where CO2 is meeting its oceanic equilibrium in the raindrops rather than acidifying the ocean, and thus have more water, rather have less CO2 in the air. I think that the growing human population needs these innovative solutions. Rather, we love coming up with innovative solutions. With a market that sells energy, for example, electricity is the best example of energy. With a market that sells electricity, we can perhaps baseline the price of electricity as a suggestion to match how all products that are formed corporately we can match, or not match, we can set this so that all products formed corporately also have this defined set value, and there is no continued hyperinflation as we've seen with so many currency attempts and so much more money yet less goods coming to people. That hyperinflation strategy didn't work, but what does sound good is one world currency. And so having money together, we can really save so much. That's kind of what ECOmedia is about, along with fostering communication. But much more so, other groups can notice how it's an important time for people to come together and pretty much act collectively, as people who've studied collective action, act collectively to offset global warming and embrace climate change as a time for us to make the world fantastic with sustainable products. And how this ties to finance at ECOmedia is that the communication, I guess, is what builds the value of our money or our money supply. As people communicate positively, they are rewarded just for the words in the messages sent. That's the basis of how eCoin and ECOmedia partner. But I've noticed that the finance committee of ECOmedia wasn't so made a nonprofit organization as I thought it would be by now, but that's perhaps an opportunity for a different growth path that was to make it obvious that ECOmedia is a corporation, not the finance committee of ECOmedia. Basically, the job titles and members of the finance committee can continue on with this discussion and help with the formation of the second part of the program document. And there kind of is a lot more to be said with finance, how we afford a laboratory in our office upcoming, and specifically who can we buy software from, or what corporation can we buy software from? Not software, hardware. What corporation can we buy hardware from? What coalition members are wholeheartedly for the renovation of the monetary system as the launch of eCoin. Basically, what kind of support we have, that's finance. Marketing. The marketing director probably would have something to say like, hey, yo, remember that it.eco/1? How about I say it.eco/2? And that's a whole nother document just as powerful as the program document, but pretty much just explains our corporation. And marketing, the marketing document that they've been working on is so greatly analogous to what I already explained about the it.eco/1, the program document. And together with these two documents, we can really empower that generation process of it.eco / where we have interactivity and much more. Marketing's got this fucking jingle now. Here's the jingle coming right at you. All right, that's not the jingle. Be not afraid. I go before you always. I have called you each by name. Come and follow me. I will lead you home. I love you and you are mine. Alright, it's longer. Well, it might be longer than some other jingles, but that just makes me think, what am I gonna get on the market, which is probably a pretty cool thing to say, considering I said it. just kidding. So, that's pretty much what we got going on. Putting off discussion of what the phone will be for a little while longer, but the zone and the cloak, that's where I'm making progress. I got lots to really generate this week just by looking at the hand-drawn image of it.eco. So much love.